All righty. Welcome back to another week of the Maryland Made podcast. For those who don't know, my name is Nate McGill, and I'm currently the program director for Student Athlete Career Development, and I'll be your host for today's episode. The Maryland Made podcast provides timely, relevant, and practical information to empower student athletes and explore their potentials and pursue their passions. This week, we have some amazing guests, some guests that I've been getting to know very well. But this conversation is going to be around Worldwide Terps. We'll also get to know about some of the experiences of our international student athletes. Joining us, we have the Worldwide Terps Leadership team, who's come to us from all around the world. So I'll let them introduce themselves, starting with our president, Ashley.
Hey, y'all. I'm Ashley. I'm a French Canadian from Montreal, Canada. Like Nate said, I'm the president of Worldwide Terps. I'm a junior on the track team, and I'm a kinesiology major. And yeah, I think that's the basics about me. I'm gonna pass it to Vera.
Thank you, Ashley. Hi, everyone. I'm Vera, and I'm communication major, and I'm right now a senior. I'm originally from Belgrade, Serbia, and I'm director of orientation for Worldwide Terps. And that's about it. And I'm going to pass it out to Karla.
I am Karla. I am a business management major in the Smith School. I'm in the women's golf team. I come from Mexico, and I'm ready for the podcast.
Let's do it. Well, let's jump right into it. Ashley, let's start with you. Tell us, in your words, what Worldwide Terp is, and why is this group so necessary, or why is it needed?
So Worldwide Terp is a program that focuses especially on international student athletes. But honestly, I mean, everybody's welcome. It's a program that, we're not going to say no if you want to come to a meeting. It's for everybody. But it's a program that is needed, especially because internationals, first of all, have to go through those extra steps when they apply to a school. And then the process is really different because, we have to create our social security numbers, like the F1, the visa. So it's just all those extra steps that can, you can get overwhelmed really quickly. And then I went through the process through the process and it was a lot for me. So their program is really here to support student athletes and just having this extra guidance for everybody. So yeah,
I think, like I said, I'm fairly new to the program or to Maryland, and when I was looking at different places to work or just to pursue my career, I was like, this is a phenomenal organization to have something to support student athletes, because you guys definitely have different experiences, right? I think that's known across everywhere.
And also, I feel like moving from your country to a new country, it's a shock. It can be a cultural shock. It's a new world, and I feel like Worldwide Terp is really here to support other people. So yeah.
Good. My next question is for you, Vera. So talk to us about how this student-led organization has been a benefit to yourself and maybe some other peers.
Well, thank you, Nate. I've been able to become a leader for myself and for my fellow peers, student athletes, but especially for my teammates. I was able to, with my experience with Worldwide Terps and Maryland Made, I was able to become this guidance for my student athletes. And I feel like every time they have some of issue or they don't understand anything, I'm there to help them.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's very beneficial for the team and for Maryland itself as organization, because it's so multi-diverse, and in a sense it's very inclusive. And here we respect each other's differences in trying to help all of the athletes, no matter even if they are international or domestic, it doesn't matter. That's why Worldwide Terps is really important for Maryland Made.
I love it. And the area is so diverse too.
Yeah.
I'm walking around downtown, the DC area, and I'm seeing all types of cultures, all types of foods, all types of events going on. So I love that diversity within the athletic department, within the university, and also the area. Let's see. My next question is for you, Karla, right? So personally, what's the best part of Worldwide Terp, and what are you looking forward to the most?
Best part of Worldwide Terps is working with the Maryland Made staff and Ashley and Vera because it is fun. I love my team and what we're trying to do together, and what I'm looking forward the most is to create a community among international student athletes, but at the same time educate them on legal matters and helping them through those, like getting social security number, getting a driver's license. I would like to create a system that allows the University of Maryland athletics to give them those resources.
I love that. I like the part about being a community too. Like I think
I think it's the most important part.
Yeah, because I mean that's what it's about, right? You'll create these friendships, these relationships that'll be lifelong, right? And I think that when you're able to build community, you feel like you're not in it alone, right? So I'm happy. I'm looking forward to being able to do that, whether supporting people at different events or different games, things of that nature. I'm definitely looking forward to that as well. And next, this questions can be for anybody. So describe your experience as an international student athlete in one word and why. Like keep it real with us. Tell us the ups, the downs. Tell us what it's really like to be an international student athlete nowadays.
I'm debating between opportunity or challenging.
Okay.
I was gonna say challenging.
I was gonna say challenging too.
Right? Okay, we're all kind of like in the same page. I'm gonna start with like opportunity because I feel like Worldwide Terp being here in the US, I definitely am doing like different things that I was not planning on doing home if I was like in a school back home. So I feel like we have like career field trip, can get internship, those kind of things. They're all positive, but we can't forget how like being international is really challenging. Like we're doing stuff that American people don't do, and it's like every day, like even just doing homework, let's say, like I feel like being international is just like it takes more time to do, or just like talking in general. Sometimes I'd be like in a conversation and I'm like, wait, what I just say made sense? It's just like it's just different. So I mean it's good, but it's definitely challenging, I would say.
All right, Karla, what about you? Is your word challenging as well?
I can agree with Ashley in a lot of those, especially like not just like the part of understanding your homework and doing your homework, but the fact that you're tired and you have to think in another language. That's even more challenging. Sometimes you'd be like out of practice and have to just to put an example, write a discussion post and then be like, what did I just say? And then also like making friends, building a community, building a support system. I would say it takes time, and like building those relationships is super important to being here basically like alone, because your family is not it's not close. So
right, many miles away, and sometimes
building a support system, I would say, it is one of the most important parts.
What about for you, Vera? I know you said challenging earlier. Why is that for you?
Yeah, I would also agree with Karla about like not having like support system around you, because when you're at home it's like totally different. You have your family, you have your friends. When you come here, you like you become separated from your community that you build there, living there all your life. Now you kind of rebuild yourself from the beginning, and America gives you the opportunity to become someone, like to build yourself up in totally another light, and it's here you can choose to be whoever you want to be. You don't have to like have some doubts about yourself. Like it's just like opportunities are coming and you just have to like be brave enough to grab it. Yeah.
I like what you said. And the next question kind of, you kind of played that one up perfectly. And you said over here or in America, you can kind of be who you are. But one thing that we talk about in Maryland Made, one thing that I think that we all feel truly about is knowing your personal identity, right? So my question to you is, being along or far from home, right? How do you stay in tune with your personal identity? Like, what are some things that you do to make sure you don't get lost too much in the sauce, or you can stay true to who you really are?
Well, definitely keeping some grand values, talking to my family on the phone a lot. And like my brother is here also, he's in Baltimore, so we're pretty close. And I actually kind of get along with people who are also international. So we kind of share our experiences and we kind of share that, like, the similar goals and how capable we are to like integrate into culture and how capable we are to like keep what is ours. And it can be challenging here, but like it depends on you how much you're willing to give up of your identity to become someone new. But it depends on how much you want to be integrated, I gotta say.
Gotcha. I think you gotta stay grounded. Ashley, what about you?
I mean, like you said, like DC, like Maryland can be really diverse. So if I see like a restaurant like with Caribbean food, like I'm gonna go get it. Like I need to like, I need to eat good. I need to like eat what I like, what I know, what I was used to eat at home. It's another way to stay connected to what you have back home. And then also like it can be just like listening to music. I know Karla, you love your she loves her music, but I do too. And there's just another way to stay connected. And obviously, like, gotta FaceTime your people back home. Just I feel like how we find time to do homework, you also have to find time to speak and talk to people on FaceTime and just checking in with them. So that's really important too.
Yeah, I think the family part is very important.
Mm-hmm.
And as she said, make those spaces because those spaces matter. Also, I love dancing. I love music. You know me. I always listen to my music as soon as I wake up, to like hype me up for the day. And sometimes I dance on my own.
Okay.
You might not know about me, but I love dancing on my own, having a good time with myself. And like just not losing that essence and that culture and that excitement that like represents me.
Mm-hmm.
Even though sometimes it might be like too much for some people because I am Mexican and Mexicans are all about having fun and being ourselves pretty much. I talk a lot too, and like sometimes I can get emotional, but that's just part of my Mexican identity, I would say. And some people might see it like I am weak or I am being too dramatic, but that's just part of who I am, and I don't want to lose that ever, even though like people might think something about me, like getting emotional, getting dramatic. It's just who I am.
I love that. So I heard a few things. So we got staying in tune with the music, right? Got to get the good food. Also stay in contact with your family. So I love those things. I'm huge on those three things myself. But I think what you said too, Karla, is amazing. Like our motto says, you got to be who you are and do what you want. So hopefully Worldwide Terp and just our department is making everybody feel like they can be their true authentic self, because that is extremely important. So my next question is back to you, Karla. I'm gonna ask you about why you decided to come to the United States to play and attend college, like to compete over here.
I that was something I was looking forward to since I was in primary school, honestly.
Okay.
I looked up to all these girls who also played tournaments in Mexico that were like, oh, I'm going to Baylor, I am going to LSU. I'm like, what is that? I want that too. So basically, like I looked up for the role models that I had back home. Maria Fassi, who now is in the LPGA, Maria Volcázar, who graduated from UCF, Evelyn Arguelles from Baylor, all of them were amazing role models for me. Not only on like how their game grow, but also the persons who they are. They're really good people, and I wanted to challenge myself as they did, and that's why I'm here, and I am growing personally, growing professionally, growing in the golf course, building community. I love being here. I wouldn't change it for anything.
Good stuff. Ashley, what about you?
I feel like Karla said, I wanted to challenge myself to, all right, let's do something new. Like, let's just do it. But also, because I feel like track and field was, I have a good club back home, but I feel like in terms of competitions and competing against like the best of the best, I felt like I had a better chance of like doing this in the US. Like traveling and competing against like other conferences. So I feel like I couldn't have that back home, and that's why I just decided to do it. But I didn't know till like maybe like high school. It wasn't like Karla.
Okay, so like later on in the athletic journey.
Right.
Gotcha. Vera, you're back. So let's figure. Did you want to answer that question as well, or you want to keep it going?
Yeah, I mean, from my experience, I wasn't really planning to like go to the United States. It kind of just happened when I turned 18. Like,
Okay.
I got a recruiter from America coming into my club, and they just kind of offered me to come here. So yeah, I wasn't really planning to come here, but yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And then this next section, right? So I appreciate you all sharing those experiences, because I think that's brave, right? Like, you guys chose an unknown place to go. I'm not sure if you guys had traveled to the United States or even Maryland College Park before committing, or before being recruited here. So now it's more about, I want to talk about like how we can be more supportive for the international student athlete demographic, right? So are there any topics or issues that you think need to be addressed for to enhance the student athlete experience? And this can be like specific to Maryland, or this can be nationwide. Like, we have international student athletes across the nation. So what topics do you think come to mind?
I can go first. I feel like, and this is not something that we talk a lot, but let's just say let's just think about NIL.
Okay.
NIL is something that was created for every athlete, right?
Right.
But as international, we don't really have access to that privilege, even though we do the workouts, we do the competitions, like we do it all, like our teammates, but in order to receive like deals and stuff, you have to go back home, and then it's a whole process, and then because it's like it doesn't work with your visa status, like there's a lot behind it. But I just feel like it should be like I feel like we also have the right to like get like benefits from NIL, because we do the same thing, like I said, but and then in order to accept the deals, you have to be home, but we're home like what, twice a year, 3 times a year, and for how long? Like we're home for Christmas. That's like a week or two. Okay, summer is a bit longer, but then besides that, it's not always easy to go back home, and then it's the flight. You have to pay for your flight back, and then to come back here in time. Like, it's just like it's really challenging, because it's like we want to do it, but we have access to it technically, but we can't really do it.
Right.
So
that's a good point too, and I just say that because I know across the nation there are some international student athletes who are probably the best on the team, who are putting on for the university more than anybody else. So I got you. That's something that should be addressed. I agree. I agree.
Nationwide, I was gonna say pretty much the same thing as Ashley. The NIL and like not being able to like use your image, pretty much name, image, and likeness to like have a financial support made by yourself because of something you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking from my point of view because my type of change is very different from the US. So if I were to make an expense, do an expense or have an expense, my sacrifice is a little bigger than someone who earns in dollars.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
I got you. I hear you.
Yeah.
Vera, what about you? What you think?
I believe one of the issues that like it's not addressed enough, it's mental health for international students athletes. And I mean, the transition is quite hard, and I feel like we need to have a little bit more support for it, you know.
Gotcha. Nah, that's huge. That's huge for a lot of students, and I'm sure it's a major issue for or something we should address for international students as well. Let's see. So, if there was one thing you would tell future international students, so this could be whether it be a freshman coming up, what would you tell them? Like, what is it like to compete, or what type of advice would you give them?
I would say that they need to get to know the program they want to go to, or the school, or like get to know what is offered to them, because like I said earlier, everything is new. So the more you know, and it gives you more time to actually like organize like what you want to do, plan like your college life, and not like when you get here and then you have surprises like, oh, I
Mhm.
didn't know about this or I didn't know about that. Um, Also, if you have the chance, talk to other international student athletes, like people that around you that already went to college. Talk to them. Like what I that's what I did before coming in Maryland. I had a Canadian on the team. She walked me through stuff, and I was like, oh, I didn't know I had to do all that.
Yeah,
So if you have the chance, take it and talk to other people to just get information in general, and just see like how they went through everything.
I love it. I love it. Any other advice?
I think Ashley is a very good advice. Like talking to people who went through this experience already.
Mm-hmm.
And also I would say like get soaked in the language. Like at least for me, it was hard coming to school at the beginning, and not that I had not spoken English a lot throughout my life, but like having this thought process of like not translating but thinking in English, like reading a book or watching movies without subtitles, like all those things start to make sense a lot more in your head, and they're gonna help you going forward when you come here and you study and you go to class and you interact with people. If you can have those conversations in English with someone back home, do it. Practice. That's super important. Communication is key.
Communication is key. That's some great advice. Vera?
I believe the routine is very important, and taking days and like step by step, and not being in a rush, and like take a breath and like focus on yourself a little bit more, because I feel like when I came here I was a little bit overdrawn with all responsibilities, and I was like in a mess. I feel like if I would take a step back and like breathe a little bit and like you know get into my rhythm, it would get easier for me, because right now that I'm a senior, it's like I can able to like reflect on everything that I've been through, and I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be in a rush so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, and also like talking to a lot of people can also like give you that third person perspective. So yeah.
Gotcha. So taking a step back, I like that advice too. I mean, I think it's making that transition from high school to college is always already a huge jump. Whether it be just managing your time as an athlete, you have to manage your athletic schedule, social life, things of that nature. So that international perspective is, I'm sure, something you have to juggle. So taking a step back is probably some great advice. And then my last question I have for the bunch today, right, is how can administration, coaches, support staff better support you all? Like, what can we do? Like, we're here, we're trying to do our best. We care about student athletes, but what can we do?
Get involved.
Get involved, okay?
Get involved. Get involved. Talk about the program. Be an ally. Get involved.
Listen more to student athletes.
Listen, okay.
Listen more.
I would say, well, at least for administration, help us support international student athletes to get them ITINs and help us build that system, because I think it's really important for internationals.
Gotcha. Well, hopefully that the call to action and people start listening to that. Hopefully this goes far. But I think that concludes our podcast for tonight. I definitely appreciate you guys taking time out your evening. I know you guys have practice all day and doing schoolwork, so I definitely appreciate your time. But yeah, I'm super excited to get to know you all a little bit better, but also get to know other international student athletes as we go throughout this year. And then in my closing remarks, I just want to make sure that at least the international student athletes on campus or in Maryland know that we are welcoming new people to Worldwide Terps. So be on the lookout for reminders. We have a meeting coming up soon, and you guys can check that out. But until next time, I'll see you all later. Go Terps.
Go Terps.
Terps.
Go Terps.
All right. Let's see.